I'm Jonathan, that over there is Kurt. I am in the smallest M of the BMW family, the BMW M2. Kurt is driving the Nissan Nismo Z, and this is Edmunds U-Drags.
Well, hello there. Today we have a 2024 Nissan Z Nismo with 420 horsepower and 384 pound-feet of torque. Going up against the 2023 BMW M2 with 453 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. These two are going head-to-head on our Edmunds U-Drag track, which starts with the quarter-mile drag, then they hit the brakes, do a 180, and power back to start-finish. At the end of the first run, we'll swap drivers and lanes and do it again. Well, what's your money on? Hey, speaking of money, do you want to find the best deal on a car? Then head on over to Edmunds.com.
Okay, so how to launch the BMW M2. First, I'm gonna go ahead and set it in track mode by pressing this M mode button, then select track, and then we have to be sure that traction and stability control is completely turned off. And then it's gonna give you some options for M Drift Analyzer. We're not here for drifting, although that's really fun. And then lastly, I just have to make sure that my drive mode is over in sport. Manual gear shift selected. The shift aggression is turned all the way up to 3. There's 3 levels. We want to have all 3 bars up there. So from there, it's just foot on the brake hard, floor the accelerator. I should get a little indicator saying launch control activated, and then I just let it rip. This BMW is making a lot of power for its size. I know I have a little bit of a power advantage over that Z. The Z is a little lighter, but this M is just so potent. I really think that Z has its work cut out for it, so let's see.
How do you get the Nissan Z Nismo off the line? So using launch control in this, it's a little unorthodox, but it's still kind of straightforward. You gotta select your drive mode, put it into Sport Plus, and then after that, you make sure that you are in drive. And then what you do is you pull both paddles back while your left foot's on the brake, and then you wood the gas pedal, let go of the paddles, and that's it. Simple, right?
Five, four, three, 2, 1.
Oh, we're off. Oh, wow. And Z got a pretty good launch.
That's not looking good already. Oh boy. Oh no.
But my power advantage is clear.
Not looking so hot.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Might have went too hard.
Not much I can do about that. Oh boy. Horsepower matters.
This thing is just so potent. That was a pretty decisive win. Well, Kurt, how did that run feel for you?
It went well, except you were a part of it, so I lost.
Yeah, I mean, this thing, I thought you got a pretty good launch out of the box. I know this thing has the power advantage, but it looked pretty good right at the start, but then this thing just started eking out a lead and it just kept it. I went a little too deep into the corner. I thought I got a little too excited, but it didn't matter. Like, this thing just was able to stop not too far off the apex, got turned around and just fired out of the hole, and I was just gone.
Yeah, this is pretty quick in isolation, but when you put it up against, you know, an M2 with a lot more power, it's still a very satisfying car to drive. Like, I love the way the thing sounds. I like how it feels. Steering feels really good. Probably like you got to be a little patient exiting the corner because this does want to slide. So it's kind of fun, but yeah, I mean, I think at no point after probably 20 miles an hour was I anywhere close to you.
Well, maybe we get these things turned around, swap cars, swap lanes, and give it another go.
Yes, please. I would like to finish in first place sometime today. Oh, M2, so now I'm in the faster car. Yeah, I'm just gonna do the same launch control that Jonathan did, so putting it in drive, making sure it's in first, the hardest shift schedule, algorithm, shifting, whatever, everything turned off, and I'm looking forward to pulling away from the Z.
Nissan Z Nismo time. I like the feel of the cockpit. It feels more like a proper sports car, you know, that just, it envelops you a little bit more. You guys saw how fast that M2 is, so, you know, fingers crossed this Nismo can find some extra power somewhere and its Nismo gods will bestow upon it. But yeah, we'll see. This thing has its work cut out for it. But I'm excited. Let's do this.
Five, four, three, two, one.
There we go. Oh.
That M2 just got too much power.
What a muscly little thing this is. Oh, where's the Nissan? There it is.
Here we go, get him on the brakes, get him on the brakes.
Get this turned in, just gotta wait to put the power on. Woo! Wow. There we go. Go, 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 go! Oh! Oh, this is so fun. I love this little.
Oh man, I'm not gonna catch him.
Love it.
That was pretty good though.
This car is tough, man. What a... Yes. This is very reminiscent of the old 1M.
All right, Kurt, thoughts on that beast of an orange car?
I think on the way back, I said, this thing is just a little... Look, it's got so much torque. I mean, it drives the way it looks, which I think is great. It's just wide and muscly, tons of torque, tons of grip, except if you hop on the throttle too early, then there's no grip.
Yeah, I mean, I was just self-reflecting on that lap, and I really think this Nismo has a really good balance of power to chassis. Like, it feels a little lighter actually on the braking. I feel like I could take this deeper. You're not like overdoing it, and so I felt like I gained a little bit of ground there.
I completely agree. I think balance is the right word to describe the whole experience in that car. It's not overpowered, but it's not underpowered. There's a good amount of turn in, but it doesn't get loose on you, and like you can kind of play with it and have fun. It's up against something that's just got more of everything. I mean, even though this weighs 200 pounds or so more, it doesn't really matter.
In case you're wondering, here are the track conditions. All right, let's break this down. 0 to 60 goes to the M2 at 3.6 seconds. Quarter mile goes to the M2 again at 11.6 at 122 miles an hour. Max cornering goes to the Z, pulling 1.25 Gs. And finally, the win goes to the M2 at 34.3 at 130.8 miles an hour. And for anyone interested in our official leaderboard, head on over to edmunds.com/U-Drags. The M2 did not beat its previous best time, so it stays put in 16th. And the Nismo places 21st with a time of 35.8 at 124.2 miles an hour.
That was a lot more fun than standing out here in this wind.
Yeah, it was kind of nice being inside, but it was also nice going fast too.
Yeah. So, did that race pan out the way that you thought it would?
Unfortunately, it did. Like I really like that Z. I like it a lot, but you know, you can't really argue with more horsepower, even though that car does weigh a couple 100 pounds more.
Yeah, I mean, a couple 100 pounds was enough to offset the power to weight, and I mean, it's so potent. But like I kept saying in, you know, our talk, that Nismo just so well balanced. Yeah. I don't know, I really like the package. To be honest, that makes me want a Z. I wasn't such a fan of like the regular one, but that one I can totally get behind. Like I could totally recommend somebody that wants looking for a sports car. That's a really nice one.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to that car. It feels good. It goes fast. It was just in faster company today.
And that's how it goes at U-Drags. If you guys like this type of content, be sure to like and subscribe. And for more U-Drag content, go to edmunds.com/U-Drags. We'll see you at the next one.